Hey, I'm gonna do a quick video on this shed build here. Basically explain quickly what I did to make this shed for less than $3,000. And it is a 12 by 24 foot shed. So depending on where you live, this would cost anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000. I know in my area, this is a $9,000 shed. And when you pay the $9,000, it's nowhere near as strong as this was built. I did cut some corners in some places, but it's very solid, keeps the water out, and quit smoking. I'll show you what I did to get it done for that price. All right, and before I begin, you should know that I was able to do this completely by myself. I needed a circular saw, power drill, measuring tape, a way to get up on the roof, and wood, and windows, screws, nails, and all that stuff I'm not going to go into details on. You need a lot of the nails and screws, obviously. But all right, here's a walk around. I got these little vents on Amazon for like $15 each. Not much savings from just going to Lowe's. The back's pretty flat. You can add windows wherever you want. I've completely sealed whatever that's called. Again, I'm not a builder. I've done some little projects here and there. You might see my camper build on my channel, but I was able to do this without plans. Okay. All right, so what I started with was a perfect square for the foundation. So once I knew that the foundation was square, I just built up onto that. You gotta YouTube another video on how to find true square. You basically measure the diagonals. There's other methods to use. Just figure it out. And then once I found the perfect square, I laid my foundation, which is, here's where I took a shortcut. I used pressure treated for ground contact 2x4s and just laid them out this way and this way. Made a nice crisscross pattern underneath it. Strong, cheap. And I then had to draw, stake a line from here all the way across, pull it tight, make sure that line was level all the way around, and just laid the foundation to that. All of these things you're gonna need to find other YouTube videos on if you don't understand what I'm talking about, but it's pretty simple stuff. And then I made sure I put these little concrete bricks, throughout, all the way on the edges and then the support underneath. So once that was square, I laid down some OSB. I put 3/4 inch OSB on there. Now I needed it to be heavy duty because I'm going to be putting heavy vehicles in here. Took 9 sheets. All right, once I had the OSB down and it was buttered up good here, there's a gap because it's tongue and groove, buttered up, and now the OSB is square. I started I build my walls and put them up. So I did 24 inch on center, which means there's 24 inches in between, okay? And please don't attack me if the technical terms aren't exactly right, but yeah, 24 inches all the way around. This back section is 24 feet long, so I built 2 12-foot walls And you can see where they come together here. All right. Same thing over there. And then I cut the holes for my window. But anyways, so I built the wall on the floor without the panel. I think that's T111. Without that, I just threw the wall up, screwed it down into the foundation here with long screws, trying to catch the actual frame of the foundation. Then I put this wall up, screw them together here, put this one up, screw them together here, and went all the way around. All right. Then I put an extra top plate. I don't know what it's called, but another 2x4 that runs, you know, all the way around. What's that for? That's for weight distribution from the roof. Screwed that down in. Then I built my trusses. Let's see if I can get a shot of my trusses. All right, YouTube video for how to build another truss. Or how to build a truss. And there's ways to do it, but you gotta cut an angle here, that same angle, and you know where it finishes here, and then you come across and use these hurricane nail-on ties, which are a pain in the butt, about $1.20 a piece. I didn't put them on all of them, as you can see, but they're sharp and they hurt and they are a pain in the butt to put on. So once I built all my trusses, I put them in there. You gotta find a way to brace them in place while you're holding them. Then, after that was all installed, I went around the outside and installed this siding, which is just a 4x8 sheet of wood. These are about $35 a piece, and they come primed already. And it's basically primered on the outside, and on the inside it's basically OSB, which this is like bowling ball glue that they use on that. This stuff won't work. And then once all the trusses were up and the wall siding was up, I needed to put the plywood on the roof. Okay. This isn't an instructional video. This is just a quick how I did it to give you inspiration so that you would do it. But this is an area where I cut a corner, and I wish I hadn't. I got the finished stuff they sell for roofing. I should have got the step up thicker. I think a 1/2 inch would have been better. This was like 7 30 I don't remember, but what it did was it rained one day and it started, you know, just that one little bit of rain, thin wood started working. So you can see it. Yeah, you can see the warp. Okay, if you get the thin stuff, then I recommend you do 16-inch gaps here instead of the 24 that I did. Well, once that was all done, that was it. And then I put the roofing shingles on. You know, I did the roof gap or the ridge vent thing. You gotta find another video on how to do that. It was good to go. About the roof, you know, you want to get this aluminum stuff. It's the drip edge, I think, and you set it on top of the roof, and it comes down, keeps the water from going up in there. And then you set your roofing shingles a little bit over that edge, and then you do it on the front all the way around. It keeps the water out. You know, you go to this corner here, you just kind of cut it, fold it over. Pressure treated siding, then I painted it. These windows are for like a dollhouse. I got them on Amazon for like 20 bucks a piece. I should have done more windows. Pretty cool though. I let light in. It's strong. Then I had a lot of leftover wood, so I built a little loft. Yeah. Leftover wood, I built some benches. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah. I made a ton of mistakes and it still came out good. There are videos on how to find true level standing up, right? So we go outside. Before you put the siding on and you just framed the shed, you want to make sure that this wall isn't tilted this way in any way, and that this wall isn't tilted this way anyway, that it's perfectly up and down this way and this way. And then when you find that, you know, you put a 2x4 and hold it in place while you put all these boards on, which if you don't do that, you're gonna end up with, like, every time you put one on, it's gonna be angled down, and it becomes a problem the further you go down the line. Same thing with the roof. When you have your trusses in place and they're gapped perfectly, you wanna brace them so that the tops of them are evenly spaced out, right? So 24 inches on center all the way through and true at the bottom, at the top, and on the bottom at the other side. And then you need to make sure that this tip here is perfectly level with the wall here. And otherwise what you'll do is, you know, all the trusses will be folded this way, or all the trusses will be folded this way. You know, even a 1/2 inch creates problems when you're laying down roofing shingles, okay? So what you do is you make sure that it's perfectly level, and then you can draw a rope or a tie or a strap from here to something solid on the ground. Like you can bury a spike and just pull it this way, or pull it that way, the whole roof, so it's perfectly square. I think within a half inch of square at the base, you can't see it, but you're gonna see it when you're putting your roofing shingles on. So this shed actually cost me $2,700, but someone gave me all the roofing tiles, or the roofing shingles, for $100. That was a huge deal. I think you can build it for cheaper and better if you made it out of metal, but that's for you to decide. This door is pretty heavy duty. Basically, you build a 2x4 frame, all right, and then you run 2 braces, one here and one here, and then you put a whole sheet of this wood on that side, and you don't have to put corner brackets. It's less cutting, and this door is super solid. And then on the other side, what makes it strong is your actual siding, and you just put it on top. So where you have this brace, there's a 2x4 behind it, and I did that so that I could drill these, and they actually grab something solid frame-wise here and here. There's YouTube videos on how to build doors. But these 2 heavy-duty hinges, this door weighs about almost 100 pounds. I don't know, maybe not that much. But these bigger hinges just hold it up well. Yeah, nice and tight, smooth. Anyways, that's it. I trust all this enough to hold this kayak up in there. And there's tons of room in here. You could turn this into an actual home or a she shed, a little cabin. And I would recommend that people look into actual codes, because there are codes that I don't think I hit the mark on. But hey, it's in my backyard.